Welcome to the art project. We're going to do a little perspective disco room. The object is going to look a little something like this. Of course, you can add to it or make it any way you want to. But for starters, we have to do the grid on all of the walls, and this is what it's going to look like when we're done. All right, we are going to draw a room using 1-point linear perspective. We're going to do a checkered floor, and then after doing the checkered floor, flip the paper and do the checkered floor also on the ceiling and on the walls. We're going to do this step by step. Step number one is to draw two lines that start at one corner of the paper and cross to the opposite corner. So here's one corner, and this is the opposite corner. I'm going to put my ruler on those two corners, and using my Ticonderoga pencil, world's best pencil, I'm going to draw a line lightly across the middle of the paper. I'm going to draw another line from this corner to this corner. But I don't want to have to erase all that, so I'm only going, well, no, actually I'm going to draw all the way across. By the way, this is my vanishing point. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the vanishing point 2.5 inches. Right there. 2.5 inches right there, 2.5 inches right there, right here. So that gives me 4 points. Now I'm going to connect these points to make a rectangle in the center of the paper. All right, so you can probably already see the room starting to take shape. I no longer need this. I do need my vanishing point, so I'm not going to erase my vanishing point. But I no longer need these lines here. I now have a ceiling, a floor, and 3 walls. Along the bottom of the drawing, I'm going to put marks that are equal distance from one across the page. And in this particular instance, it is 11 inches. So I'm going to put a mark every inch. I'm now going to connect these marks along the bottom with the vanishing point, and then I'm going to erase. And if I don't draw them, I don't even have to erase them, but I am putting my ruler on the vanishing point every time, and then each one of the marks consecutively. But I'm not going to draw my line all the way, because I don't want to have to erase it every time. I'm going to start right here. I've connected this vanishing point to that mark, and from the back of the floor to the front of the floor to the front of the mark, I'm going to do a orthogonal line. The lines that go towards the vanishing point and connect with the vanishing point are called orthogonal lines. Step number 7, I'm going to draw a light line from the left corner all the way back, all the way to the back right corner of the floor. I want to keep this line light because I don't want to have to erase it later on. I don't want it in my picture. If I draw it really light, just light enough where I can see it, then I may not have to erase it later, but I can if I need to. So everywhere that this diagonal line crosses an orthogonal line is a point. I've created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. All right, so everywhere I have one of these points, I'm going to draw a horizontal line. And I want to make sure that that horizontal line is parallel with the bottom of my paper. I did something a little bit wrong. The question is, do I want to fix it? If your lines are not completely straight, fix them. So I'm going to put this back on this point right here. I erased that last line. I'm going to put this on that point. And I'm going to make sure that I'm parallel with the back of the room. So now I have a disco floor. I'm going to turn the paper around and do the same thing on the other side. I'm basically taping my paper down so that it stays in the camera view. You do not have to tape your paper down. Every 1 inch. To the vanishing point. Drawing the orthogonal lines to the vanishing point every time. Stopping at the back wall of this room. And then from here to here. Everywhere there's a intersection is a point. And everywhere there's a point, I'm going to draw a line. This time I'm going to start in the back of the room and keep it parallel with that line back there. That might actually work better for me. Not too bad. Probably better to go from the back to the front. As you can see, that looks really, really good. So what I do now is I connect from this corner to this corner, and everywhere it crosses should be a new vanishing point. Let's try it out. I mean, a new orthogonal line. Just a subtle difference in where the line is and where it should be makes it look like these are too close together and this is too far apart. However, for this drawing, I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side. There we go. All right, so now I have this disco room, and I'm going to go over all of my lines with a thin Sharpie, and then I can easily erase things that I don't need. I'm going to go over everything I want to keep, a ultra fine Sharpie or a Sharpie pen, and then when I'm done, I can erase things like this construction line here and here and here. Then I can fill it in. Black, white, black, white, black, white, or I'm sorry, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. Do the back of it simply by connecting this point here and that point there. That pretty much wraps it up. So now I can go over it with the Sharpie, color it in. I can add the spheres and the ribbons or whatever I want to before that, windows and so on. That's what it's going to look like when we're done. So it's your turn. Go make some art.